Welcome to episode 11 of the Real Estate Den podcast. I'm Megan out of the San Luis Valley in Colorado. With me, as always, we have Michelle. And then today, our guests, we have Ray and Devin, also out of Denver, owners of Lone Haus. And then we have Ashley Herrera out of San Marcos, Texas. Great. So we'll get going. We'll hop right in with you, Ashley. How long have you been doing this? What got you into lending? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I've been in the business for 13 years. Really what got me into the business was my mom. She actually used to be in the mortgage business before '08. And I was kind of like second guessing my career because I was in currently getting my master's degree in psychology. I was literally about to graduate and I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. And she said, well, maybe you should look at loans. You're already in banking. You're good at math, money, etc. I was like, I don't know. So I ended up going to a small bank. I got a processing job there and worked my way up. And I've never left the industry. I love it so much. And yeah, so short story, long story though, but overall, that's just how it came about, and I just never left.
That's great. Ray and Devin, tell us a little bit about your guys' company and your backgrounds and how long you've been in the business.
Yeah, I guess I can start, but been doing mortgage now officially 8 years in January. I did auto finance before I got into mortgage, but been doing lending for close to a decade. It's one of those things where I think I chose to get into lending just because as I was always one where I loved math in school and I've always enjoyed finance. And honestly got a kick out of like going to the car dealership with my parents and like watching the negotiations go down. And I really just like it clicked to me, right? And that was always something that I helped them get, I feel like the best deals they could possibly get kind of thing. And made sure they weren't getting taken to cleaners by these car sales guys. But yeah, it's definitely kind of a fun journey there. And then yeah, so as far as the company goes, so I'm a broker owner at Lone Haus, and this is kind of a new endeavor, but basically been trying to be an entrepreneur for years and years and finally took that step to become one. So hopefully we'll keep producing and things will keep growing, but all's been off to a great start so far.
Great. And you've got Devin with you. Devin's also part of the team.
Yep, I am. And so I have a very different story than Ray here. I did not go into finance because I liked finance. So that was not the reason I got into it. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was doing sales. I was doing a poli-sci econ major in college. And I'm like, I don't know, I'll just start trying different things. And then someone gave me an opportunity at again, auto refi. That's actually how Ray and I know each other. And I just kind of went into finance like a fish in water. So it just all makes sense to me. It's very easy. So I've been doing it ever since. So I've been doing it for 7 years and about a decade in auto. So I got out of it, auto a little bit after Ray did. But yeah, no, the reason why I came over to this company is I've been in the call it retail or correspondent space for my entire career, which just basically means somebody else builds an entire team for you and you just plug in like a little Lego piece. This way we do it, kind of run it ourselves. We can control all of our own processes and there's a lot less hands in the cookie jar. So this is we get to pass on savings to clients and we have tons of options. This is not really as much of a company for brand new as it is more vets that where if you know your stuff, you can come here and we can give you the tools to thrive.
Totally relate. We'll go back to Ashley. You said you love the industry. What do you love about loans?
Yeah, so coming from the processing world, it's totally different from being a loan officer. As an officer, you sales. Processor, you actually put the deal together and figure it out. And I was really, really good at that. And I really didn't like the fact that I wasn't making as much as loan officers. So I was like, I'm going to be a loan officer now. It's my turn to get into that. And once I got over that hump of, just the hungriness of trying to make more money, I really fell in love with being able to help clients that were not able to get into homes, because with my processing background, I knew exactly what needed to be done. I could talk to somebody and I could almost immediately know if we're going to be able to move forward. If not, I was going to find a way. And that's how I work. I always get everything up front. I don't hopefully not make any mistakes up front to where I can have a client ready to go and start shopping versus doing pre-quals, because I don't believe in pre-quals. I can't handle it, not less myself, but handing them out to realtors and clients that are like, oh, you have this pre-qual, and then they go shop and they get under contract, and then they're like, come to the loan officer, oh no, never mind, you don't qualify. I don't like that type of business, and I would never do that. And the reason why is that I worked for loan officers who would do that. And when I was a processor, they had a deal, and it's like, hold on, they don't qualify. How did you even give them a pre-qual? This doesn't make any sense. So with being able to have that background has really put me in a different category of loan officers, because I take the extra steps that are needed to be able to get clients to the finish line. So that's what I really love about it. In addition to, because I'm dealing with these clients who most of the time have a lower income, I started building houses to be able to fill the gap of, properties are not available for those types of clientele. So we build affordable homes. So really just stemming from the mortgage side of it, seeing that lack of opportunity for the clients that I am helping, being able to provide a product to them that they can love and enjoy, have safety and pride into a home, has stemmed from that.
That's cool. So you're providing affordable housing. So is it like attached to, are you doing like townhomes and condos or anything?
We're building single family homes. So they're 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,200 square foot, and a 1-car garage. So basically starter homes, those who are looking for homes to get into, first time home buyers. Those were really my bread and butter before COVID. The COVID happened, everything changed. Investors started coming into play, and those are our target audience now, is investors. But being able to really focus on being able to help those first-time home buyers get into homes that they're actually going to love and enjoy for a long time to come, or just their first home, is something that I really love about it.
Well, and it's huge. We have a housing shortage. I was on a Zoom earlier today talking about it. Also, that the average first time home buyer right now is 35. And that's great that what you're building and putting out there is perfect for the 35-year-old versus when it was, a younger 25, 26, 27-year-old, that might be more apt to get, something smaller or more attached. So, yeah, that's great. We definitely will need to talk more about that. Ray and Devin, tell us what you love about loans.
For me personally, it's all the basic stuff, right? Like the cookie cutter answer. It's, time freedom. It's having uncapped earning potential, right? It's the basics, I guess you could say, right? But in all reality, the thing that makes me the happiest is like, I truly, at the bottom of my heart, believe what we're doing as like the mortgage side of things and the real estate side of things, and kind of picking back off of what Ashley said, it's changing the financial fabric potentially for like an entire family, right? And like,
Absolutely.
I love helping, the investor clients and the move up buyer clients, and that's a totally different thing that gives me joy, right? But the first time home buyer, where like they've never maybe even had a parent or grandparent own real estate.
Mm-hmm.
They go through the process and do the credit improvement, they get the down payment saved up, and then eventually get their first property, right? It's, for me, that's something where like now they're the minimum bar set for their children of like, okay, here's kind of what the expectation is in the family moving forward. And then now that I've been doing this for as long as I have, like I have clients that bought houses with me when I was brand new 8 years ago that have now since pulled the equity out of their property, utilized that to buy their next primary residence, and have built somewhat of a real estate portfolio with a couple rental properties. And now I'm starting to see people that have average incomes, per se, are not making $1 million a year, get towards like that $1 million net worth through like their assets, right? So I just think we're really helping change society in general, and really that financial future for really anybody that we come in contact with.
Absolutely. That was a great answer, Ray. That was not just the cookie cutter answer. That was awesome. Devin, do you have anything to add?
No, well, well, obviously we all like the very similar stuff. You said it way more eloquent, but I think for my side is the challenge of it. To be honest, the difference between a average loan officer to someone being really good is actually way wider than you think. Knowing the guidelines changing on a yearly basis, staying up on things, people getting told no, all the big cookie cutter retail places, and they're all saying, nope, we can't do this, we can't do this. Get one phone call and go, nope, I know a way around this. I know exactly how to make this work. That's the kind of thing that gets you referral clients and makes your sustainable business, is knowing more than the guy across the street. So that's fun, is just learning the most boring stuff you can think of. So I love it.
It's so gratifying though.
It is,
It
absolutely
sounds
is.
like.
Yeah, it's someone's like, you can't do this. Like, nah, here's the guideline. I know exactly how this is going to work. I've done that before. It's like, it's great.
I love that. I say often that the only difference between a buyer who closes and a buyer who doesn't is purely motivation. Everything is figure outable, and if you get a good lender and a good agent on your side and on your team, you can navigate. It may take some time, right? Like maybe you just started a business. Like we obviously can't, like, change rules for tax returns and things of that nature. But Ashley, you had mentioned that you had to sort of get over a hump in the beginning of your career. Can you speak a little bit more to that hump and what you did to get through it?
Yeah, so coming from a family where we didn't make a lot of money, obviously my goal was like, I need to find a way to make money because I need to surpass this lifestyle that I've had as a child in my childhood. So that was the only thing on my mind. And the first thing that I knew was what my parents told me was to go get a college degree. So I did. I got the college degree. I got the bachelor's and the master's. And then I quickly realized, obviously, being in psychology, I wasn't going to probably make as much money as I wanted. We're all really sold this dream that if you get your college degree, you're going to start in 6 figures coming out of college. And that's absolutely false. And I didn't realize that until much later into my life. And unfortunately, it is what it is. But, getting through that and then starting in the business with the mortgages, it was very hard. It was very difficult because I was a processor. I was not in sales. I didn't understand you had to be a salesperson to get deals. All I saw was my loan officers that I was working for getting deals left and right, but they were in the industry already 10, 15 plus years. And to be able to have deals come in like that's through relationships and building that. And that's something I didn't understand. So I didn't make a lot of money at the very beginning, and I was chasing money. Because I was poor, basically, is what you can say. I wasn't making anything. Mm-hmm. And in addition to becoming a loan officer, taking that step, I was also pregnant. I was going to have my first kid soon. So I was like, what am I going to do? I got to make some money. And that's that hump that I'm talking about. I was a paper chasing pregnant woman looking to make money. And eventually, obviously, that didn't work for forever, because I learned that the best way that I could get business was to get on Facebook, because that's all I knew, and get on there and educate, become the person that somebody wanted to come to ask questions for, and then eventually they become my client. And that's exactly what happened. Once I got over, keep chasing the dollar, that's when everything started to really flow in. Is when that mindset changed, that, hey, I'm going to help versus chase. So that's really what it was for me, is when I really changed mindset.
That's huge. And to go, you need that. You need to have faith that the money's going to come no matter what, because it never comes the way you think it's going to come. Like, we all think we're going to get this $1 gazillion deal, or we're going to meet this one investor, this one person, and everything's going to change. We're going to make all this money. Like, that's just some sort of like thing we all, and agents and lenders, alike. But yeah, just to have that faith that this is where I'm here. I don't need to be, like you said, paper chasing, or I think I heard someone else call it commission breath, right?
That's cool.
I can just be, and me being here and doing what I need to do will attract the money.
Yeah, I love that. I think that makes so much sense. It's like you're out to help people, and I mean, it'll come, but that's the mindset that, I love that. I think it makes so much sense.
And it's you can see the shift. I'm gonna go back to Ray and Devin. I'm assuming you guys have had humps being in business 7 and 8 years. Like, do you have any sort of stories or mindset shifts that you can share, that, you know, a struggle that you've gone through and kind of pushed through, and what you did to get out of that?
2023. No. That was a fun year for everybody, right?
You're like, I am sitting right here. What else do you need
I
for
am glad
victory?
Oh my God. Well, you know what though? I told people even in late 22 that this is going to be a cleansing market. It's like a lending brush fire, because what it was, everybody was chasing the easy deals in the refi market, right? So everybody was refi boom. I heard everyone's making easy money. Let me go in and get my piece. And then as soon as that went away and you had to go back to basics, the last statistic I heard was, what was it? In 2023, the amount of licensed loan officers was at 185,000, and renewals now in 2024 is like 85. Somewhere at 85 or 90. So more than half of all loan officers in the United States are gone, no longer licensed, because they couldn't cut it. And I understand that. You know what I mean? We all had a tough year, but you know what that really became is that's time for market share. But more than anything, it's kind of brought everyone to light who knew what they're doing, and they kind of shown out way more than everybody else. And now we have more market to kind of to play with, and more clients to help. But it was definitely a year where you had to get back to basics and understand how to really do the job, not just, hey, everything's coming to you super easy. Let's just say, it's an easy job. It is not.
What were some basics that you went back to?
Talking to realtors, going back out there, doing your calls, doing all your emails, and just generating, all the call them income generating
Activities.
Yeah, activities. Thank you.
Mhm.
So all those kind of things where you didn't really have to do that as much. To be honest, as a realtor, I bet you it was even harder in a way back in 2020 and 21 with COVID and everything like that. But all the lenders didn't really care about purchase anymore very much. It's like, why?
Oh, no.
It's like you're like this little bit. Like I can get all of this. I have no reason to worry about purchase. And then as soon as that business goes away, all of a sudden all your guys' phones are blowing up going, hey, you want to talk again? You're
Right.
like,
Oh, I was like, oh, it's been so long. Hi.
I
I
know.
miss
Hey,
them.
so
I
listen.
miss you guys.
Yeah.
Well,
So we were already doing that stuff still, but it was definitely something where you go through and go, hey, I got to figure out how to get back out there and fight against all these other guys and show why I'm different and why I'm better. And doing that just eliminated a lot of people. And now we're going to have a ton of business going forward. But that was a big one for me. I don't know about you, Ray.
Yeah, same thing. I'm glad the dog days of 8% interest rates in 2023 are beyond us, and it looks like the future's bright with all the speculation and the commentary from the Fed Reserve about rate cuts coming this year and whatnot, right? But I guess kind of piggyback off what Devin said, right? It's the industry itself was growing extremely quickly, especially for lending, right? Like everybody wanted to go out there and do refinances for their friends, family, their sphere, and offer 2.5% interest rates, and it was easy, right? But again, that kind of results in having an oversaturated market with a lot of lenders out there that just didn't frankly know what they were doing, right? And that was essentially causing other problems. So, on that note, I guess as far as overcoming last year, it was definitely a year for me where I think my income got cut in half, but luckily, I'm still here, right? And biggest thing for me is, exactly what Devin said, going back to the basics. And sometimes I think it's good, right? If you're growing too quickly, or like if you had, from 2020 through like the early part of 2023 when rates were good, it's one of those things where like you could stay busy just doing refinances, but you didn't have to actually work in your business and perfect like your craft and your daily routines and those revenue generating activities, right? So going back to like having that available time is really a way to perfect that business. And then for me personally, it was all about mindset, right? Like if you wake up in the morning, you get a text message update as far as like what the market's doing for that day, and the rates are taking a turn for the worse. Like it's really easy first thing in the morning at 9 o'clock to get a negative headspace and just want to lay in bed all day and not do anything. So, I ended up starting to do like ice bath routine in the morning, and that's maybe a totally different podcast, but it's one of those things where like, for me, that was an absolute game changer. It does something for you on like a physical level. I think it's a mental toughness type thing. And so I just basically started off my day like waking up in the morning and doing that quick cold plunge. And I was like, all right, well, I already got the hard thing done. So let's go do the other hard thing, which is my job right now, you know?
Oh yeah, we did that differently. I would just take a beer in the shower, so I did it differently than he did, I think.
Ray's like, would I rather go talk about 8% rates or sit in an ice cold bath? I'll take the ice cold bath. Let's just procrastinate a little bit longer. I know we had I think on our first episode we had someone who does do ice baths in the morning. And then my husband's been doing them for like the last 2 weeks. He filled up a chest freezer in the backyard. And he's been like, I've been like, you can see me because he's been filming them, and like my head peeks out. I'm like, are you alive? Are you okay out there? Like, is this? But it's honestly, it's been game changing for him because he's also in the business. He's an agent as well. So when he started doing the ice baths, his like lead generation and like how quickly he does his activities, you know, has improved a lot. But not enough to make me want to get in an ice bath. I'm more in the middle. I'll do like a hot shower because I also don't drink, but I'll sit, you know, like I'm like in the middle there. What is something that, and either one of you can, if you have an idea or start, or go ahead, but what is something that you wish you had started doing sooner? And what is something you wish you had stopped doing sooner?
I'll start. So as far as starting doing sooner, it's definitely investing into real estate much sooner. Whenever we started our real estate investing journey, we started with fix and flips. And I feel like we didn't get started soon enough. In addition to holding property, I wish that we would have held more properties than we did. And you said stopped doing?
Yes.
It was really that hump we talked about, just getting over the mental part of the business. Like, just I wish I would have done that much sooner because my life would have been much easier for
Just stopped getting your own way.
longer amount of time.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good answer. And that's, I mean, most people, you never hear somebody regretting that they held onto a property. It's always that they sold it, right? Like you never
Right.
like, man, I shouldn't have kept that thing. Like, no. Everybody's mad that they sold it. Ray and Devin, what do you wish you had started doing or stopped doing?
You know, I guess I could start with that one. So for me personally, I wish I would have started my own mortgage company sooner, right? It's one of those things where this is new for me as of January of 2024, right? But you know, I always do a yearly goal setting session where I'm looking like at my 12-year plan, looking at a 12-month plan, a 3-year plan, like a 5-year kind of stretch goal, right? And the more I looked at it, you know, I could have stayed where I was at as a retail loan officer and, you know, worked under a branch manager. But if I was doing the same thing 3 years down the road and wasn't working towards building a company of my own, I know I wouldn't have been happy with myself regardless of like where my income was at, right? So, you know, it's one of those things where I could tell you ever since doing this or opening this company, I've been working probably 12 hours a day, every single day, excluding Sundays kind of thing. And it's probably the hardest I've had to work in a very long time, right? But it doesn't feel the same. It's a totally different feeling behind putting the work in because I know it's going to result in something that's much bigger than me, right? And hopefully having a company where we're able to originate in all 50 states and, you know, give some of these big retail companies like your Fairways or like Nexa or, you know, some of these nationwide companies that run for their money. But those are the stretch goals again, right? But that's for me personally, one thing I wish I would have started years ago. You know, one thing I guess I would have stopped doing is procrastinating. I think you know, for those of you out there that maybe listen to this podcast in the future, it's easy to get that call reluctance, right? Where like you're afraid to maybe pick up the phone and call that client or call that real estate agent to ask them for the business. And the epiphany that I had at the end of the day as a loan officer, yes, our client is our borrower. We're got to take care of them, getting the best possible loan and make sure that they're happy, right? But I had a recent shift on this where in all reality, a loan officer's client is actually the real estate agent. Our job is to help protect your efforts, right? It's difficult enough for a real estate agent to go out there and find a lead, but then convince that lead to talk to their preferred lender to get pre-approved. And then of course, getting that loan closed on time and closed accurately, I think it means the world, right? So the whole call reluctance thing for me, I was able to kind of shift away from that because I just had that epiphany where it's like, you know, I'm good at what I do. Real estate agents need us. It's a very, you know, symbiotic relationship. And it's like, why not make that phone call? Why not ask for that appointment? Why not ask for that coffee? and why not ask for the business? The worst you can get is a no, and then just having that persistence to continue forward is the biggest thing that matters, you know?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm the same thing for what I wish I would have done sooner. And that's the same thing. But the thing I wish I would have stopped a lot sooner has a lot more to do with relationship building. And so what I mean by that is when you get into the outside position of being a loan officer, you want to work with absolutely anybody who will talk to you. And that's great, right? It's like, hey, I got a lead here, I got a lead there, whatever. And then you start realizing that certain people don't jive the way you do. They don't have the same kind of moral focus, or they don't have the same kind of, just enthusiastic customer service base. You know what I mean? Like they don't care about the same kind of things. They need everything done 2 days ago. It's kind of a time and an energy suck. And then what I was starting to realize is I don't need every agent. I don't need every person out there. I need my little core group that I can give all of my time to. And they all jive with me. We could all go to a game together and we'd all have fun. And we all are on the same page. It makes my life way happier. My whole family appreciates it way more, and my business thrives way more because of that decision. So I wish we'd done that way earlier.
Yeah, I love that.
That is great. Absolutely. I like to do business with people I like. I like to work with agents I like. I like to work with lenders that I get along with. I like to work with clients that I like. Yeah. And I mean, as the years go by, the less I'm like, I don't really want to talk to you anymore. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I fired a buyer a couple weeks ago and I was like, this feels like really good. Like, goodbye. I don't need to deal with you ever again. Like,
Get that piece back.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I have faith it's coming elsewhere. And then, like we said goodbye. And then I had like 3 more different leads kind of come through out of nowhere. And I was like, because I said goodbye. I trusted like what I'm here to work with. You know what I mean? Like we all know that there are jerk people and there are agents who cater to jerks very well because of personality similarities. Is that professional to say? So, like, agents can find your agent, find your lender that's just like you, and it'll be fine.
Yep. No ice baths required.
Exactly. And so that brings me, what's new and exciting with Lone Haus? Is there anything that you want to cover that's specific? Your license out of Denver. What are you like? Who is your ideal client?
I guess what's new and exciting is we have an official office space now, which feels good. For the beginnings of the infancy, everybody was working remote, working from home. So we do actually have an office, which feels really good. We're going to eventually get our nameplate up on the doors. Got to wait for my property manager guy to get the right sizing, I guess. But feels good. We got an official logo selected last week, which feels really nice. And I'm proud to say that, the company officially has 21 licensed loan officers under the Lone Haus umbrella. So the growth has been absolutely incredible.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where, as we grow, it results in better pricing, right? It's like on the wholesale side of things, we do have access to really some of the best pricing you can get in the mortgage industry, right? But then there's different levels of wholesale lenders, right? So when you have a certain number of loan officers under your umbrella, they move you to like a diamond or like a diamond preferred status, which would effectively give me even better pricing than like a competing smaller brokerage shop. So the growth has been extremely exciting.
That's great. Ashley, what's new and exciting for you this year? What is one thing you want to let everybody know you're doing this year, and who's like your ideal person to connect with you?
Yeah, so one of the things that we're really focusing on is a product called DSCR. Those are specific to investors. And I love that product because we don't have to dig into income. We don't have to see taxes, pay stubs, any of that. So long as the client qualifies, as well as the asset, and the asset being the property, and the new mortgage and the rent makes sense for it to move forward. Those deals are so easy. So we have investors who are cashing out their properties, taking that cash, purchasing another one. They do start with 20% down. You do have to have great credit. So that these products are not for everybody. However, it is good for investors because they can line these up left and right. There's no minimum to how many properties that they can purchase versus like your traditional conventional loan. They have you capped. I really like to help the investor. I'm an investor myself, and to be able to have a product that investors can take advantage of and not have to worry about their bottom line on their taxes, that's a win.
Absolutely. What is your typical morning like? Do you have any specific morning routine? What does a regular morning look like for you? We'll do Ashley,
Yeah.
Ray, and Devin.
Yeah, of course. So I always wake up. I have an amazing partner who takes our kids to school, so I don't have to do that. Once I get up, I have my morning rituals of my I ams, my prayer, obviously getting ready for the day, and then starting my day with what I put on my list from yesterday. I do a lot of delegation. I do a lot of things that are obviously, I know we talked about the money aspect of it, but are going to be able to bring in more deals. So I like to focus on going out and getting the business versus being behind the desk. I've done that too long and it hurts too much to sit all day.
Great. Ray, you already told us a little bit. You get into an ice bath, like in your tub. Do you put ice cubes in it? We have questions.
Yes. Okay. So I'd be lying. I have 3 kids, right? I have a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old. So the morning routine sometimes depends on what time these kids are waking up, kind of thing. But for the most part, the goals wake up about 6 o'clock. And this might sound a little bougie or whatever, but I did finish my basement. We're kind of in the long-term home, and I added a sauna in the basement as well, right? So
Nice.
basically what I do first in the morning, go downstairs, turn the sauna on. It takes maybe 15 to 20 minutes to heat up. During that time, I'll go make my coffee, try to get a glass of water in me, and then, go use the bathroom, do that whole thing in the morning, I guess, right? But then, I'll start off by doing the cold plunge, and then I'll finish off with the sauna. Now, the cold plunge, I think I have like some kind of promo code I can maybe somehow drop into the podcast, but I have like this very, basic, like it's like a kid's inflatable pool, but it's like designed for ice baths. It was like $100
Okay.
online, but very basic. I don't have like the Joe Rogan setup quite yet. But yeah, I'll do the
I've,
ice.
I've seen that.
Yes, that during the summertime, I'll be honest with you guys, I couldn't afford to keep doing the ice bath just because the ice and the water was just too hot, and I couldn't afford to go to the grocery store and get like 20-pound bags of ice every single day kind of thing. So I do have to invest in that eventually, but at least during the winter time, the ice bath's the first part. Finish off with like a 20-minute, sauna session. I usually like to read a book during that time and maybe go make like a social media post or something about the business. And then from there, it's getting the kids ready, getting them out the door for school, and starting the day for work.
That's great. That's a good morning. Devin, what's your morning like?
Didn't look like that, I'll tell you that much.
He's got the beer in the shower.
I'm a single dad. I have an 8-year-old, so I get up, 6:30, get her ready, take her to school, go straight from school to gym, and then come back, get ready, and make sure right about 9 o'clock I'm out starting to do my daily affirmations, and then honestly I just get right at it. I just go after my loans I have to get. I kind of block time out, and then I try to be outside the house for at least 3-4 hours a day, and then just in time to, even right after this podcast, go pick her back up from school and finish out my days with all the rest of the loan items. So mine is very predictable, so don't break into my house because you'll know exactly where I am on a daily basis.
And I love that you mentioned the daily affirmations. That's one thing I forgot to mention too. I have this really cool app on my phone where it's like basically a gratitude journal where every morning it gets you a notification, and you just pop in 3 things that you're grateful for the day and 3 things that you're going to do to make that day great. And you kind of write your affirmations in there. But
well, I actually do it with my daughter, and that's been a really cool thing for her. Prayers at night and then affirmations in the morning, and she's really starting to get a feel and flow of that. And it's and now she's like getting better than me sometimes with like kind of deep stuff that you wouldn't expect to have an 8-year-old. You're like, wow, that's a good one.
man,
but I try to, just have her kind of lead me by example in a way sometimes, but it's a really good thing to do with the kids.
I love that. I might have to steal that. What kind of affirmations does your daughter have?
Well, kind of all kinds of stuff. Well, because her, I don't know, not to get too deep in all this stuff, but her mom passed away. So she has things that she likes to bring up about her mom, and thank you for giving me these different traits and things like that. And she always appreciative of, I'm so glad that you're here with me, Dad, but I know I get this from Mom, and she helped me do this today. And yesterday I was able to, solve this issue that she had, like someone was bullying somebody, and I made sure to step in for them, and Mom would have been so happy, and things like that. And then just like makes me like melt.
No,
but she's it's amazing, and it's stuff like that where you just don't expect them to think that way sometimes.
Ray and I are going to steal parenting tips. I just love that. I think that's such a great idea. Get them started for the day.
Yeah, it's a good way to do it over breakfast, and daily affirmations at breakfast, just like you normally do your highs and lows at dinner, right? Same kind of idea. Just do it, affirmations during breakfast. I love it.
They're huge. Affirmations are definitely huge, and yeah, kids. I love kids and the affirmations. They just take to them very well, and And I think they have an understanding, because I think in affirmation practice, and I'm going to get a little wooey here, is a soul thing. It's not a body thing. And we live in this real estate world in our bodies and in our life and what we're doing in this empire that the humans have created. But with taking care of our souls, I think, are just really essential to being in this business and standing through it. So that's why those things work, and work for all ages and in all ice baths or beer shower mornings. It doesn't matter. Like, the affirmations always work. So
And I will say too, because that's also a big thing that we were just talking about earlier, about doing the right thing brings the good things to you, right? So it's like, if you just always do the right thing, things tend to work out for you. And that's what the kind of people that I wasn't, again, linking with as much, people that were just like expecting things, or just kind of not just being appreciative of what they're having, and being willing to help each other and go the extra mile. Those kind of people I get along with the best with, and then that's the way you start your day, is being appreciative immediately, and then your whole day goes well, and everything just seems to go the right direction. And that's why I think some of us are still here kicking after last year, is that doing the right things.
If you surveyed those like 98,000 loan officers that renewed their license, I bet you like 80% of them had some kind of morning affirmation or gratitude journal or something to at least keep us going during the hard times,
Yeah, I'm sure that, the realtors too, because sometimes that's all I hold on to. Great. Well, Ashley, where can people find you if they want to connect with you, learn more, become an investor, get an investment loan with you, or any sort of loan?
Yeah, you can find me at theashleyherrera.com. Everything will be there for you.
Great. And she's organized, all in one website. That's awesome. Ray and Devin, where can we find your guys' information?
So main company website is homeloanhouse.com. I'll give you my cell phone. I'm always on it, but my cell phone is 303-596-0046. But either way.
And we'll add on to that, though. It's home loan, HAUS, for house. So it's not like a normal house. It's more of a Colorado style thing. HAUS for house.
Or German.
Well, I know. Well, you gotta,
Very helpful.
yeah, it's about to say, don't go look at HOUSE. You won't find us. So go to homeloanhouse.com. All my socials are pretty much at Devin Rice Mortgage. So DEVINRICE Mortgage. Yeah, my phone is 334787292. So we kind of respond to all of it, but yeah, that's the easiest way to find us.
And we'll have all everybody's information in the show notes as always. Once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next episode.